You know what Kevin loves? Eating. You know what Kevin's doing? Getting married. I'm not saying the two are connected, but maybe if you use our sponsor, Blue Apron, to eat, someone will love you. Blue Apron. I wrote this ad again. Blue Apron makes cooking simple and delicious. Each week, they send you pre-portioned ingredients. You follow the step-by-step instructions. Blammo! You've got a dish to be proud of. No more eating out of the trash, YouTube user Matt Bell. They got warmed smoked trout and asparagus salad with fingerling potatoes, garlic croutons this month, man. Stop eating out of the trash. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Greggy. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Greggy. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. And stop eating out of the trash, YouTube user Matt Bell. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, alongside producer/seducer Nick Scarpino.
Hi.
You're wearing the brand new Kind of Funny hat.
Yeah, it was fun. I had to take some pictures in it, and I just kept it on.
It's not. We don't know if it's available yet by the time this is posting.
I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to wear it right now.
But what I'd like you to do is show me all the different styles. Kevin, give me R2. And now show me some of the styles of this hat. So this is like you're going to a baseball game. You're coaching Little League.
Picked up your kid from Little League.
Maybe gonna bribe him with some sort of sugar so they'll shut the hell up.
It's Sunday. You haven't showered yet. You're going out to brunch.
Didn't want to do my hair.
Now hip it up for me. Hip it up.
Hip it up? You want to hippity hop it up?
Show me how you get the ladies at the club.
Oh, doctor.
What if I do that?
You are a member of Crisscross at this point.
This right here says, don't burn this side of my neck, and this one says, I'm all party because I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
and then what's the other?
Trying to shave the back of your neck?
This is I'm really intense, and I'm into my card game because all I have left in life is gambling.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in
That is
Vegas.
true.
I
That is
gained a little
true.
bit of weight.
Yeah.
You know,
World
I owe a
Series
lot of money
poker.
to the wrong kind of people, and this I need. Oh shit! I just lost. Go run.
No, you kind of do you look like the Fred Durst, sort of in that era of the Nookie era.
Ah, yes, the
Yeah.
Nookie era. Of course, Limp Bizkit's Nookie.
Now just turn that hat red, get a big puffy jacket on.
Now show me the rally cap.
Oh, rally cap time.
Yeah,
Do it this way, right? Is this how you rally cap?
you're doing it. You're doing
this
it.
is
I don't want to fuck up the top
The
of it,
podcasters
Do
are
it for
having a
2
great
seconds.
time right now. The people listening to this audio
how you
version
like that?
only.
Andy
What
Cortez.
on earth is going on?
What? Wait. What? You're Kind of Funny. Something Hispanic, but if I say it wrong, it's racist.
Hispanic heartthrob?
Hispanic heartthrob. Andy Cortez. Don't you think the Spurs could use that in the playoffs?
Okay.
Because remember they lost. That's your team, and they
baseball
lost.
caps for
Rally caps for
basketball teams?
baseball. Not
You can put on.
basketball.
You can rally for anything. One time I was getting my chemotherapy. A guy did that with his hat. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna beat this thing."
Oh, okay.
Died right there.
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
It's not a real story.
Great show.
And rounding out the foursome today, Patreon supporter Paul Joyce.
Yay, Paul!
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Paul, you come all the way from jolly old England.
I do.
Oh, make you feel more at home, don't we see?
I can't believe you waited this long.
Don't
I know,
we
right?
see?
Oh no,
Yeah,
he was building
I
up.
felt,
just
so,
talk.
I felt so at home there.
Yeah, exactly.
sorry.
Now, Paul, how long have we known you?
Too long?
No.
Yeah,
no.
a good year or two.
Yeah, you've been supporting us for a long time there. You do the Skype calls with us.
Indeed, I do.
We get to check in. We've seen you go from your apartment being very bland
Yes.
to then getting a better webcam, and it seemed there was more detail when that happened.
Yeah.
And then you went down to LA and you were Skyping from a back porch.
Yeah. So basically, I am actually enjoying 2 months of what we call in the UK gardening leave.
Okay.
So I'm between jobs. I started a new job in the middle of June. So my girlfriend and I came out to the US for 2 months to sun ourselves. So we spent most of our time in California.
Yeah.
But we did spend a short period of time in your hometown of Chicago.
Yeah.
You went to
which was-
Portillo's?
we did.
What all did you eat? Lay it on me.
Well, I mean, what did you expect?
Let's go, Bulls.
We
Space Jam.
Nice, Jace. Good job. Bill Murray.
an all Italian beef hot dog with everything.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
An Italian beef sandwich.
Yeah.
A cake shake that I think nearly gave me diabetes.
Sure. That'll happen.
Yeah.
Kevin's a
They
big
call that
fan.
the Kevin Coelho special.
The Kevin Coelho fastball.
I wonder, how do we start that? How do we get that to be a thing across all Portillos? Just call it a
I mean,
Coelho.
we're barely getting my photo into new Portillo's, so we don't have
That's
to.
a good. That's a foothold. Though,
It's
my
happening.
friend. That's
I know.
a
We'll get there
foothold.
eventually. All right. Cool.
It was excellent.
How do you find this country that is America?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my first visit here.
Sure.
But
What's your
yeah,
best?
we love. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I mean,
So as a person
today
who
is
just
a,
came to this country for the first time, never been here before.
Yeah.
You just learned the language. You just learned the language
That's
before you
amazing.
came.
Yeah,
First off, your English accent, your American accent is amazing. Second off, real question though, what city do you like best? What resonates more with you?
So I'm going to offend a lot of people, but
Nah.
whatever I say. So
long as it's in California,
So
it's
I
not
love
gonna
Los
offend me.
Angeles.
There you go.
It's we spend a lot of time there.
Your face.
I moved out of Chicago and never went back.
Although it was our first time in Chicago, and it was a beautiful city.
Yeah.
By the lake. Weather was great. We were very lucky. Really enjoyed it. Great food.
Sorry. That's what you have
It's
to-
like
didn't
a
know what it was.
gremlin over there. Kevin doing some of the drapes. They shoot
Let
up.
him after me.
I just realized I left that move control on the table. We don't need it there.
I didn't know why the PlayStation Move controller here, but I wasn't going to doubt
practicing
it.
For Kind of Funny Live 3, we're doing some stuff there that requires a microphone. So
Oh,
I was
so
using
this is
that.
a real thing. I thought you were doing something stupid like on the morning show.
Oh, no, it's always
Oh,
stupid.
no.
No.
We
Andy and I were
rehearsing.
practicing some stuff. Yeah.
Doing some rehearsal stuff.
Andy, can you move that? Because it's just reminding me of how poor of a singer I am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great singer, yeah, what's
Well,
going on?
so won't this post? Oh no! No.
No, this will
No,
go up the
Friday,
Friday,
no.
yeah, before Kind of Funny Live.
Okay.
Ease off.
So Nick's already ruined the fact that PlayStation Move will be there in full force.
Yeah.
Ready to get it live.
Lots of exclusives being
Lot of- lot of
released.
PlayStation.
It's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
Move versus Connect. That's going to be fantastic.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Game Over Greggy show each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bring a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like Paul did, where you can support us at a number of different levels, get the shows early, get bonus episodes, come on the show, do all sorts of cool stuff. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can go to youtube.com/kindoffunny, where we post the entire show topic by topic, day by day, until it goes up as one big MP3 and video the following week. I want to start.
Okay.
I'm fired up, Andy Cortez.
Yeah?
I'm fired
Okay.
up, Paul. Maybe you've heard. I'm fired up. I want to know why people are so bad to each other. Why people revel in each other's misery. Why is it human nature? Are we all horrible people? Is it evolution? Is it something else? This all stems from just on the way over here. I was going through like, what are my topics going to be? You know what I mean? I'm bumping around. I have my list, all the different stuff. And what I got to was over on Reddit, someone giving applause to the New York Post for their headline with the Tiger Woods DUI of the Tiger.
Well, it's a good pun.
It's a good pun.
yeah.
I agree
see
with
what's
that,
on there.
fine, but why are we so excited to tear this guy down? Is it because he was up at one point? And it's not limited to just celebrities. Think about it in your circle of friends, high school, workplace.
Think about
Somebody
how we treat
fucks
Kevin.
up. How we treat Kevin. Think of somebody fucks up and you rub their face in it. You do all this
Think about
dumb shit.
how Kevin treats us.
Okay. You
Yeah.
got some Kevin thanks?
Kevin issues.
I'm just pointing out that it doesn't have to be Tiger Woods. It can be someone who is, less of a celebrity than Tiger Woods, and you can still want to tear him down.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying without naming Kevin a million times because it seems like you have some unresolved Kevin stuff.
No, I mean Kevin and I. No, we're fine. We went out to Mexican lunch today. We're good.
Okay.
I think
It was delicious.
it was really good. What, Kevin?
What?
Kevin's got nothing to say. He's just trying to derail the show. You think?
I often wonder this, right? I don't know what it is about wanting to watch someone rise and then fall and then rise again. Like, we love this, right? We've seen it time and time again, especially in pop culture over the last, since I've been alive, really. There's countless celebrities who we enjoy. I mean, I think part of the joy of watching them rise to that height is to maybe there's some fucked up part of your brain that's they're gonna self-destruct. They're gonna Lindsay Lohan, right? They're gonna Amanda Bynes. They're gonna Britney Spears. Those are just off the top of my head.
Sure.
I don't know. I think on some level it reminds you that even though these people are quasi superhumans, that they are still human, and I think we all find that comforting. Even though it does come from a negative place, it just comes from a place of insecurity, right? Like, all of us know that at some level, we're going to fail at something. And then when you're out there and you see these people who, either by design or just by nature of what they do,
Yeah.
seemingly have this perfect life.
See, but I think you're taking it in a direction it doesn't need to be. Is the fact of, don't get me wrong, Tiger Woods had a DUI. He shouldn't be drinking and driving. That's stupid. Always call Uber, always get a cab. Doesn't matter like that. I'm just talking about in the internet comments, the desire to be right and go for each other's eyes and do all this different stuff and just say horrible, horrible fucking things.
I think it's people trying to get that internet karma, the Reddit karma, the upvotes, the retweets.
That's part of it, probably.
It's people wanting that recognition for saying something slightly clever or slightly funny or whatever.
It's validation.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. But I also think it comes down to you're talking more in generality, not necessarily Tiger Woods, obviously.
no,
but,
take it wherever you got to take
But
it.
I do think that Tiger Woods has become somewhat of a punchline with what happened 7 years ago or whatever with his wife cheating on his wife or whatever. And then getting his car wrecked or whatever. South Park made fun of it, this and that, and he's never ever gotten back to the point that he was when he was at the top of his game, and killing it like in majors and stuff like that. And I do think. Do you think it's the fact that he was on top of the world, and now again people are just trying to like, hey, this guy's down here with us. Let's try to attack him as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think we also conflate sporting or entertainment prowess with being a great human. And the two don't necessarily meet. You can be a fantastic sportsman, but you're going to make mistakes like anyone else. And I think you like to see, as you say, these superhumans, people who can do things that you can't do, but actually, by the way, they mess up like we do as well.
Yeah. Do you think this is all making... I mean, I'm with you on the fact that I think in my entire time of life, Entertainment Tonight, whatever you want to do, a celebrity does something wrong or does whatever, it's going to be headlines. Whether it's Hugh Grant picking up the transvestite prostitute or whatever, Eddie Murphy doing the exact same thing way back before my time or whatever, or, anybody fucking up, it becomes a news story like that. But I feel like... And I don't know, and maybe it's just us or whatever, but in the way we exist in the internet and the way everybody's connected now, social media and Twitter and everything else, it's the same thing, but just being applied to normal people. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does, but I think it comes from an interesting, I think they probably come from the same place. I can't speak for the entire internet, but I know that when I want to tweet a snide thing out or I want to respond negatively to something, it very seldom has to do, like that level of anger or animosity or just shit spewing vileness very seldom has to do with that thing. It's usually I'm having a bad day or I'm not happy with something else that's happening in my life, and this is an opportunity to have an outlet to take that anger out on something, right? And we were talking about earlier about internet commenters when we were having a beer you were having a beer, I was having a Red Bull, whatever, in the kitchen. In that, I firmly believe that all these people out there that are throwing out hate wouldn't do that if they were talking to you person to person. Yeah. I think they might have the same criticisms, but I don't think that they would be forced to feel they needed to confine that into that 140 character like lash out, right?
Sure.
Like there's so much of our lives right now are just truncated, and that sucks. And that in and of itself is a frustrating thing, right? If I have a problem with Andy, but I don't actually know Andy, and I can't text Andy or I can't call Andy, and I have 140 characters, or I have what I feel like is maybe the space above a fold to get my point across, I have to make that as pointed and as sharp and as fiery as possible in order for people to hear it. And it sucks because more often than not, like that's not how you resolve conflict, which tells me that for the most part, what most people like to do is they're not interested in actually winning, or they're not interested in actually getting to the truth of a matter. They just want to feel like they wanted something for a second in their life, for whatever reason.
I also think sometimes success is relative. It's a bit like if you've got a sibling who's really successful, if they got, whatever their grade point average was 3.5, if you didn't get 3.5 or more, then you weren't successful. So people want to bring other people down to make themselves feel better and feel more successful.
Of course. And I think that's definitely part of it too. I think there's a part of it of saying like, there is something gratifying of pointing out someone's flaws, right? And doing it in a way that it can be validating. It's false validation, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, completely.
It's not real. And it could be an interesting stress relief. And also I think that a lot of people just think there's zero consequences, right? I honestly believe that a lot of people who leave comments on things like to throw it out there and just don't think about it. They're not thinking about that comment they made on a video 2 weeks ago, even though the person whose video it was on probably might be still thinking about it, or at least it's rattling around somewhere in their subconscious. I think it just comes from a place that we all have inside of us, which is I'm frustrated with something. Because life is fucking hard.
Do you think it's inherently
easy.
Flawed in the human condition that we're designed to be selfish, and so we want the best for ourselves, which inherently in some way means worse for someone else?
Of course, but I don't view selfishness as a bad thing necessarily, unless it starts to become destructive. So I don't think, I'm kind of a little Ayn Randian in that I think that selfishness is a good thing, and everyone does things for self. We had topics on this before, but everyone does things for self-serving reasons. It just where I have a problem with it is where you start being selfish at the expense of others, and I feel like that's kind of where you get into in that murky internet commenting territory, right? Which is that you're going in there to feel something, and that validation or that anger that you have or that need to be right or that need in some aspect of your life is going to be fulfilled here at the expense of others. Be damned. And I can't do that. I just can't indulge in that. I have it in me, by the way. Of course, you've all seen me get angry. You've all seen me make an inappropriate comment to Kevin or to Tim or something like that, like lashing out in anger. And that's really all it is. But I can guarantee you, if you stopped me at that moment and said, calm down, and you asked me what it's really about, I'd say, you know what, I just had a bad day yesterday, thinking about something completely out, and I'm taking it out.
Well, it's
on
always the
podcast.
last straw, right? That's where it comes from.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of people out there may or may not be happy with where they're at in life, and this is their outlet to get that angst out. And it's unfortunately not a good outlet for that. But I do think it's inherent to every human.
I don't know if it's necessarily, I don't think it's necessarily all that. I think a lot of it does come from, like what I was mentioning earlier, just
You hate Tiger Woods.
wanting to post a cool, funny thing to be able to show your friends.
Sure. There is the one-upmanship.
I got 22 likes. Check this shit out.
Yeah.
Like, this meme is fucking awesome. Reddit, fucking, I guess not Discord, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere where your creativity can bring someone else down and also get you recognition. I think people jump at that immediately. Like, you look at anything that happens in the games industry. In a week from now, in about 2 weeks from now, we'll be doing E3 stuff.
Yeah.
And I, along with a billion other people on the internet, will see something silly and try to make a funny remark.
Someone's gonna wear the wrong blazer in a Sony press conference, and we're all gonna tear that guy apart.
We're gonna try to make a meme about it. If somebody stumbles over something stupid, we're gonna try to make fun of them for their
Octopath Traveler.
to feel good about it. Just makes it's really stupid, but I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, we're also all being rated that much more frequently, whether it's on Facebook or
Exactly, yeah,
Instagram.
that's
You're
a
getting
good point,
likes.
too.
Everyone, you're comparing how many likes you got to this picture, to that picture. Does it make it a better picture? Does it make it a better comment? I think we like to feel that if we've got more likes, that means that we're more popular and we're better. Exactly. So you do something more outrageous that attracts more attention.
That's a really good point, and that's something that I think is worth really thinking about. Is like we have built this whole culture up based on competition in every aspect, and like it doesn't really mean anything if I tweet something out and it gets more likes than something that Andy tweets out. Right? It doesn't really. All it means is that there's more people that follow me, and that I'm better than Andy, in every way, shape, or form. But it doesn't really mean anything in the real world. But that I think that's very fascinating. I will say, like, I see this in myself a lot. It's very easy to dip into that side of yourself, but it's the wrong way to go. And I always that's why I've apologized to Kevin multiple times, because I feel like if I get in that negative space and rip on Kevin, and he always ends up being one of my whipping boys, like, it's just an obvious, easy thing to do that's cheap and useless, right? It's much harder to make a positive piece of content and put it out there than it is to make a stupid joke at the expense of someone else. And it's just, I don't know, but everything to me boils down to positive or negative, right? Are you putting out something positive into the world, or are you tearing something down? And if you're always constantly tearing something down, like, sure, that's fine, and you can get a lot of followers for that, and you can get a following for that, but ask yourself why, and do you want to be in that space, and do you want to be the person who is known as the guy that's just going to rip on people all the time? And that's never been me.
Andy, is there a way to put the genie back in the bottle and repair it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, a million news outlets report on Tiger Woods that he got arrested for DUI, right? Whatever. But to make the DUI the Tiger joke and then be applauded for it out there, and then that starts dialing back to everybody else. Like, we're talking about internet comments. We're talking about how people want to be, and we're talking about the snark of E3 or whatever the fuck you want it to be. Is there, I mean, like...
I don't think there's a way at all, no. I think we're just so selfish that we want recognition for all these kind of silly, witty things that we can create on the internet. When this Tiger Woods news broke, I didn't even see that one, but I saw like a million other ones.
Yeah.
Like, you type that trending tag, and there's tons of people making jokes about what he looks like. I saw one today about, he looks like a Furby in this image. Like, just a bunch of like really dumb shit, right?
Sure.
And then it turns out he wasn't even drinking.
Yeah, it was prescription medication or something.
He blew a 0.0 on the fucking...
I think he was asleep. I think the police found him asleep.
Right.
In his car.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think there is a way, unfortunately. I think it's just human nature, whether that's... I mean, it's shitty. But I won't lie. I'm the same way. Like, I don't know if I'll go to that extreme where it's like somebody's having a problem. I'm sure people will pop up with receipts of me talking shit.
Sure.
But No, I don't think there is a way to put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah.
But I think it's also in regards to like celebrities too, specifically just with Tiger Woods. Like a lot of people just don't see him as a real human being, right? That's the problem with guys that get this big. Like Tiger Woods is one of the biggest sports stars on the planet. Still, even if he's not winning Masters championships, still like he's a multi-millionaire. Everyone knows the name Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
He's synonymous. He's ubiquitous at this point with golf. So I think that a lot of people don't realize that when you see that image, that's a real human being that had to stand in front of a mugshot and probably had one of the worst days of his year so far, if not of his life, that night. So, it's not, I don't know. I mean, the same could be said for any big name celebrity, right? You could also ask yourself, like, how come, well, I was going to bring up Trump, but I guess he kind of deserves it a lot of the time.
Well, no, I mean, like, the thing is, I just feel like it's a losing battle. Of what the internet is and the culture we have, and not even internet culture because I hate that shit. Just us as people that we just want to tear each other down and do all this stuff and always jump to the negativity, right? The next screenshot on my slide on this topic, right, is from Reddit. Over on Reddit, the Vita Reddit the other day, a kid put his Vita in the sand of an island or on a beach and took a photo of it and called it Vita Island. And like I was over there and I'm obviously in a thread like, this is fucking awesome. The amount of people on Reddit, on the Vita Reddit, that had no idea what PS I Love You was or that's a reference to us, I thought was really cool and like shows Vita's still alive, like we always talk about it, right? But then of course some people got into talking about it and everything else, right? And there was a thread there that immediately was, not immediately I shouldn't say, there was a thread that started talking about PS I Love You, talking about Colin, talking about him leaving, and then one that was like, it's got a fucking stick in Greg's craw that Colin's doing so successful. You know what I mean? That he's doing so well. And I commented, I'm happy for Colin and the success he's found. I knew he'd do great. Because of why would I fucking want anyone to leave here and fail? Why would I want Kind of Funny to be a launch pad to failure? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the same person comes back and says, okay, I'm an asshole, no lie. Even typing that, I knew it wasn't how you would really feel about where Colin is. And then he goes on to apologize and everything else.
Wasn't expecting you to reply.
But I mean, like, here's my fucking point of how that is way more, God, is that a punch in the gut to me more than the comment initially was. Of just the fact you've been following us since Beyond, and somehow you've missed the narrative I'm talking about of being a better person and being nice to each other on the internet and not sinking to this level and not, hey, I have a choice. Is it positive or negative? I'm going to go negative.
Yeah, but for everyone, and granted, look, I think that we're at the beginning of this this process, right? I think that social media has only been around for 5 years. So like, I'll paint a different picture for you, right? Like I see comments on Facebook every once in a while that are negative, but there's always at least one or two people in there that are like, no, this is the way it really is.
Sure.
Right. And that person is the one that those are the people in the community that you can look at and be like, oh, okay, well, that guy is clearly like listening, he's paying attention or whatever, or at least he's open to having a dialogue. So I think that's a positive point, and I think that's a good start. And honestly, the only thing you can do as people who are creating content is try to foster that community and try to keep pushing that message of positivity. But you also have to, we have to cultivate that internally here, and sometimes we're assholes about that too. Like sometimes we're mean to each other. And
that's our biggest. I think that's the biggest thing we get into. I don't think this is it, but I think the problem we have is that we give Kevin shit, you give me shit, we all give Tim shit.
Right.
Everybody's cool to Andy. Andy's too goddamn beautiful to get shit.
No one gives Andy shit yet.
But then when the audience gives us shit on Twitter with no context, it comes off way worse.
Right.
Same thing on the ride over here. Ryan McCaffrey was going back and forth with somebody. I was looking at it a second ago to try to bring it up and read the entire conversation, but I think they've already started deleting tweets about it because it did escalate and then de-escalated because they DM'd each other and started talking about what it was. It was some guy threatening to blow up an embargo that IGN says they're going to have an exclusive, but he already has the game and it doesn't have an NDA, so why? And then
I thought you were going to say threatening to blow up a building or something.
I was like, maybe don't DM that guy. Maybe have him DM with the FBI.
No. But I mean, they talked it out. But again, it's just that first switch of like, we're off to the races. Like, I mean, like, so my response, I almost chimed in on the thread before it started getting settled on its own. But just to the fact of, because like, it was the normal thing of maybe I'll blow up this exclusive IGN has, and McCaffrey going, don't do that. Think about when you want to work here in 4 years, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And the guy going, it was just a joke, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm British, so I have a dry sense of humor. And like, I get that about you Brits. But we all have when you're putting something on Twitter, you all have a context. It's just a vacuum of context. And so that's the problem when you're going to put something out and it's mildly aggressive that's going to get somebody.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, is like intent and context matter, right? If you're just giving each other shit too, there's a difference between like, kidding around and chiding each other and actually like trying to make a comment that if someone reads it's going to hurt them. Right? That comment right there, like it must stick in Greg's craw. That's a comment designed to hurt you. Right? If that person had made a clear joke of like, when do you think Greg's going to move back in with Colin? Right? That would have been funny. Okay, good. That's funny. It still gets the point across, but obviously that's not going to happen. Right? So there is a lot of difference behind that. But I also think that to a lot of people, and unfortunately, this is the big issue, is that this is entertainment, right? People's
lives.
Other people's lives are entertainment, right? I mean, look at what the number one type of television was for so long. I don't think it is anymore, but like reality, quote unquote, reality TV is huge because people like to sit there and just sit in judgment from the safety and the sanctity of their own home, and shouting at a screen where that person can't hear back. But unfortunately, we've been conditioned to do that, and that's what we're calling entertainment. But now the people on the screen can hear you. Now they're like, hey.
That goes back to my whole, but this is my whole thing with the argument of like, I mean, I'm not trying to sound sanctimonious here, but have I taught you nothing? Like, I feel like I've been saying the same story example of Jim in the office. The Office is terrible. NBC needs to shoot it.
Right.
And like, it's like you're talking at the Kardashians are so dumb, but I would never tweet directly at Kim Kardashian and say that because I'm talking about the show and the moment and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but how old were you when you learned that lesson?
I know, but I feel like I'm teaching. This kid's been following me since Beyond.
But he's probably 16, 17. Maybe he doesn't understand. Do you know? I mean, do you know?
I don't know.
Maybe he's like, maybe you just taught him a lesson, and now he's going to be that person that pays it forward. That's what we have to do. It's a never-ending struggle.
I think there's
just
also
like pineapple on pizza.
There's a saying, at least in the UK, that today's news is tomorrow's fish and chip paper.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah, and that was true when 20 years ago it got produced and in a paper and then got binned and no one thought about it again. But now these things are in perpetuity. You can look up those articles, those posts, those threads in 10, 15 years time. They have a permanence to them that perhaps we didn't used to have before the internet. And I think people forget about that. They post it in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Or you can shout something at the television and it's gone and you can apologize for it. When it's there and in writing in black and white, it stays that much longer, and it associates not only with the person you've said it about, but with you. And people can go and dig up things that you've done on Facebook, photos you posted 20 years ago. And when you're going for a job interview, it's people don't appreciate there's that permanence to a permanent record to what you say and what you do.
I've said it a lot. I'm like so glad that when I was a kid, I didn't have social media. You have no idea how glad I am about that. You have no idea how glad that I right when Facebook started to get big was when I started at IGN, and I was around a group of people that were like, you can't type that into an AIM message, let alone onto the internet. You can't even say that to people in the office for fear someone else will hear that, let alone put it out in publicly. And I'm like, okay. But a lot of people just don't have that. A lot of people don't have that person, either that voice inside them or someone literally around them saying don't do that.
It's going to be mutual destruction, right? Because by the time whoever is in high school now, or has been raised with the internet and Twitter and Facebook in their hand their entire lives, gets to running for president, everyone will have the same embarrassing shit to some extent on there. You know what I mean?
Sure, but I mean, look at even what's happening with Trump will be very telling, right? Like he is the perfect example of a person who no one ever told him to stop tweeting stupid shit out, and he made it to president. But now it's slowly but surely starting to backfire. We'll see what happens. Maybe that will change the era. Maybe that just doesn't matter anymore, and we'll be the minority of people trying to fight the good fight. But it doesn't mean it's not worth fighting. Yeah. Just because we can't win doesn't mean we shouldn't fight. That's just the way it goes. Sure. Plus, you have to be the change you want to see in the world, right? You have to be we don't have to change the world. We just have to make sure that we are trying our best to build the best community for ourselves, because that's the world we want to live in.
Yeah.
And I think that once you start to realize that it's not the 6 billion people in the world that we have to change, it's 220,000 hardcore people that enjoy us, that we have to make sure they have the right mindset, that we're giving them the right stuff, that we're providing the right direction and messages for them, and vice versa. Because a lot of times I'll see people that I'll say something stupid and they're like, Nick, that was insensitive or whatever. I'm like, you know what, you're right. Like, cool. There's a back and forth. There's a quid pro quo here.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone out there listening, I mean, we see stuff. We do. Greg sees everything. Him. I don't, but Greg and Tim stay up all night and reading stuff. And so next time you're going to tweet something out, just take a second and think, what if this person actually reads this? Well, how's that going to make them feel? And is that what I really want to get across? Because if not, maybe retype that message in a more constructive manner, and maybe you'll actually see real change.
And why wouldn't you be positive? Why wouldn't you say something nice to somebody? Why wouldn't you say, you look great, or that thing you did last week was brilliant?
People don't think it's gratifying, but here's the rub. It's way more gratifying to give someone a compliment than it is to tear them down. And it's way better for your physical and mental state to go, I don't like that person. You know what? I'm just not going to engage. I like that guy. Hey, I like your hair. Great. I mean, you both have great hair. But you know what I mean? Like, it's better to, in that regard, it's way better to exist in the positive space than it is the negative space. Yeah. People just don't understand that they can choose to do that if they want. And some people maybe just can't make that choice.
Well, there's still room for criticism. I'm not saying you only have to say nice things to people, but I'm
I
saying
don't mean that.
criticism. I know. I'm just being
You
clear.
balance
I'm
it.
just spelling this out because
Yeah,
again, this will
absolutely.
be a
Yeah.
comment. This will be a landmine comment on YouTube or whatever. If people
Sure.
just want to be mean and do all these different things.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good, and it's an important distinction to make. You're absolutely right. Constructive criticism's great. Criticism's great. I don't care. It's fine. But there's a difference between criticism and hate,
Yeah.
right? There's someone saying, Nick, I really don't like that hat. You shouldn't wear hats like that because it makes you look bald. Or makes you look like Bruce Willis, which is like
That would be a
bonus,
negative.
right?
Yeah, no,
Great
yeah.
compliment.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of things you could look at me right now and pick apart a lot of things. But what's the point? What is the fucking point?
Sure.
I don't know.
I hear you.
That's why I leave you.
Are people nicer in the UK? You're all meant to be polite. I've heard the cookie stories.
I am.
The cookie stars.
One of the cookie stores.
Yeah, I'm.
The crisp story that got circulated on Reddit a while back or whatever of this guy waiting for the train got delayed or was running late, right? You heard this one?
That sounds pretty typical.
Yeah. So and the guy went over and bought some crisps, cookies as you call them. Like I assume a sleeve of Oreos in my head.
They're kind of
I
a
think
wafer, right?
I think we're mixing our chips are crisps. So
Okay, what are
crisps,
cookies?
Biscuits.
Biscuits. You got a sleeve of biscuits.
Yeah.
You heard this one?
No.
And then he sat down at the thing, put his biscuits down, opened his newspaper, and the guy sat down next to him and opened his newspaper, and then the guy who sat down reached over and ate one of his fucking cookies. And the guy reading the newspaper is like, this motherfucker's eating my cookies. And he's like, well, what am I going to do about it? And he's like, I'm British. I'm not going to do anything. So then he took one of his cookies and ate his cookie. And the guy next to him ate and like they went back and forth till the sleeve was finished. And then guy who sat down got up and left, leaving the guy who was like, I can't believe this motherfucker's eating my cookies. And then his train came and he shut his paper and looked down and he had his cookies still in front of him. So really, he was doing it to the other guy, and the other guy was also so
did hear
Oh
British.
that, yeah.
They just sat
just
there.
sat there and-
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I think we have a term called the stiff upper lip in the UK, which is this idea that people, I don't know if people are nicer, but they tolerate things.
Yeah.
I think we just don't say things. As you say, you could be wronged seriously, but you just kind of nod and smile.
Yeah.
Because that's the polite thing to do.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't
not
have
sure
that in
actually if people are
America.
nicer, but I think
That got filtered out over the last 250 years,
yeah,
unfortunately.
but I think outwardly people are much more kind of vocally positive here in the US.
Vocally positive.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay.
Like the service you get and the way people will interact with you is much more positive. I mean, people joke and complain that service in the UK is terrible, but it's just a more reserved, more polite. It's a more of a kind of a neutral.
Yeah.
Whereas I think here it's probably more extremes. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference
I don't
between
think we're more-
European
I think-
service and American service. Like we have this ridiculously relentless steps of service that a lot of people follow here, but it also has to do with like we really like to eat a lot and we like our food fast and we don't have patience. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, and yeah, Brit would never complain about slow service or poor service, but they would probably internally be sitting there thinking, well, I'm never going to come back to this place again.
steaming,
They're never going to tell anyone. So it's kind of, I'm not sure if it's more productive or less productive.
I know growing up, I remember the tabloids over there being ruthless as well, right?
Yeah.
On the celebrities. Do you see the same internet behavior from folks over in the UK?
I think less so.
Yeah.
Again, I think it comes from that kind of politeness. I think that the tabloids are a whole another topic.
Yeah.
But I think they were very driven individuals and very driven organisations to make exposés and to sell newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
I think generally people are more polite on the internet, but you still get a lot of negativity and you still get a lot of negative commenters, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't think anywhere has got the right answer yet. No single country or single community or single population has got it right. So
I don't know what the solution is. I don't know
No.
how to fix it. Andy, you worked over in Austin for a while with these Rooster Teeth fucks. Mm-hmm. A lot of them younger than you. I'm not gonna say how old you are because you're old as hell.
I can't imagine they're younger than Andy.
A lot of them are younger than you.
I think he's like 19, isn't he? Look at
74-year-old
him.
man when he joined. It's kind of
Are they, is the generation below you even more caustic, more angry, more prone to be like
Well, it's
snarky?
It's hard to say because everybody at Rooster Teeth has a little bit of a following, and they like internet recognition, much like a lot of us do. I keep going back to that theme because I can't really say that anybody back there who is younger than me, like around 23, 24 years old,
Yeah.
is better on the internet because they love the recognition that they get from memes and funny tweets and shit like that.
Right.
So I'd say everybody there was generally really nice because they're just awesome people, and they wouldn't want to hire anybody that's shitty.
Sure, no, everyone there's nice.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really tough to say, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know. I got another for you, Greg.
That's fine. I just want everybody to stop being mean. I don't want the default to be mean.
Yeah, sure.
Tiger Woods shouldn't be DUIing it up. Agreed. We all agree with that. You can report that news, not celebrate this headline, and then kick it around.
That's also fucking newspapers aren't doing great, so they want.
The New York Post has always been that way. Sure,
Yeah.
of course.
And
But I mean,
they're known for that. Yeah.
But that's how the internet is. What the internet is, though.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? BuzzFeed takes its cues from that.
But the bigger they are, the harder they fall as well. So that how many other people were arrested for DUI in the last 48 hours?
Jesus.
But only one of them appears on the front page of a newspaper.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine if that headline didn't read DUI the Tiger. Imagine if it read Tiger Woods needs help. Like, that's a very distinctively different message that you're putting out to your audience, right? And clearly he does. If he was, I mean, I don't know what causes. Maybe it was just a mishap of like I had a cocktail and a prescription drug and it had a bad
He wasn't drinking as well?
chemical reaction.
I still haven't read the
He
article.
blew a 0 on the breathalyzer, but so he just had back surgery, and
So he was probably on pain medications.
He was given pain medication.
That shit knocks you the fuck out. Trust me, I've been on it. So it's possible that he accidentally took too much of it, and that's what led to that. In which case, like, I'm sure he'll be fine. But we all, and myself included, when we went through like the Britney Spears era, where we were like, here's a person who is shaving her head and running out into the street
With an
umbrella, and like, assaulting paparazzi, and we're all sitting here laughing about it. There's a person in crisis, and no one fucking said that.
Yeah.
Not one paper. Well, I'm sure there was, but I can't remember one headline going like, "How do we help as a collective group of people this person that we love?" Whose music we love.
It's a mental
How do we
health
do that?
issue at that point.
Well, yeah, you're fucking breaking down. Like, you have she probably had a problem with substance abuse. She had a bunch of people around her that weren't positive for her, and nobody wanted her to get better because they just wanted her to shut up and play her music and make money. That's fucked up, right? And we're all a part of that, so we all just have to recognize that as well.
I think we also need to remember what the purpose of a newspaper is. Is it to report the news as a public service,
money.
or is it to sell newspapers? And which of those gathers more interest and sells more papers on a newsstand?
And that goes for Huffington Post, and that goes for every other website out there.
Yeah. But again,
we need your clicks.
Again, I stand by the fact that if you can inspire people, that is 10x stronger than if you can instill fear in people, which is what most of our mainstream media does right now. Like, how many fucking times do you turn on the news and it's like, crisis in Washington. This is what happened in right? And then you get to the one positive news story and you're like, oh, I guess I feel kind of good about myself. Imagine a world where the Rachel Maddows of the world or the Anderson Coopers were like, hey, here's 10 things you can do right now to make your life better. And here are some news stories that are inspiring to you.
Dr. Oz.
Like, that's why I watch like every
his fake medicines that he sells and shit.
Well, I don't know if Dr. Oz is I don't know if he's the champion of that. My messaging there, but you know what I mean. Like, and that's what I know that we are. All the things that I'm saying we shouldn't do, we do sometimes, and I realize that.
I think it's human nature.
I guarantee if you, for the rest of this podcast, you're going to catch me say something stupid to Kevin that can be insulting, is really denigrating. But at the same time, it doesn't, like, no one's perfect. But it is a matter of, like, can you choose to be in the positive? Can you choose to be an inspiration to the people around you, and not a person who's going to tear them down for your own sick pleasures? Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here. Watch other videos down here. Clicking over here to go to the Patreon and go check out Kinda Funny Games right there. You can click right here and you'll go back and see a very old video. Just say I'm making it up. Put something there. Fuck it. I don't care. Old.